So there has been a lot to do with Mahatma Gandhi and Turkey in recent times. Should I just continue in English?
Oh, I can summarize at the end.
I wanted to say a little bit about Kulwant Roy, because since this is an association of photographers, I thought I should mention a few things about him, because he was a self-made photographer. He was never trained. He grew up in the city of Lahore, and that's where he had first started his work. But then he moved to Delhi, and he started following the independence movement and the leaders of the independence movement. Because he was very friendly with many of them, he could get very close to the people, and there are some very unique photographs which he has been able to get because of that proximity, the familiarity that he had with the Indian freedom struggle leaders. I thought I should also mention a few things about his craft, because he belonged to a time when photography was not so easy. He used to use something called the Speedmaster camera in the beginning, which I'm told is a very big and heavy instrument. And some of the photographs over here are with those, with that and with the plates. Subsequently, he moved to a Rolleiflex, which is with a double lens, but eventually his favorite camera was a Leica, which was much more maneuverable and lighter to use. There are a few other things that I thought I should mention. Unlike many other photographers of his time who did not wish to crop their photos, he believed that it was okay to crop the photo, the negative, so that the principal object would come better into the focus. Those of us who are into the digital world today use cropping as a daily exercise, but in those days it was a very contentious issue. The second thing was that he somehow would manage to get very close to the subject, and I think in many of these photographs you will find that he got very close to the subject and was able to capture their emotions, which is something that a photographer often wishes to do. And the third was that he was not just a photographer himself, but he was very committed to the community of photographers. And so he had started an organization called the Associated Press Photo. So this is not the AP Associated Press, but this is in those days. This is before independence. It's a long time ago. And he employed a number of people in his dark rooms as photographers in different places, so that photo would become an element of the story that was going around. And so in that sense, he was a very committed professional as well. As you probably all know, these photographs were actually lost, and they were lying, the negatives were lost, and they were lying in a suitcase, and they were found about 25 years after his death. And they were found by Aditya Arya, who you mentioned, who was a photographer himself, and he then curated the photographs together. And there are many more in this exhibition as part of the archive. And the first exhibition of this was in Paris, where he had bought his first Leica camera, we are told, in those days when he had gone to visit. The last thing I wanted to say was that we would like this association to continue. I have noticed that there's great enthusiasm in Turkey with the art of photography. We were recently in Malatya, and we were very lucky to visit the first camera museum in Turkey, in the world. And we had a lovely tour with Erin Ina. I wanted to tell you that we have recently opened a camera museum in Delhi. It's called Museo Camera. And it's been started by Aditya Arya, the person who had actually curated this exhibition. And I understand many of you are likely to visit India for the next annual session of the Photographers Association. And I wish you all happiness and success when you are there in India. And if you get the time, you should also go and visit the Camera Museum. But once again, thank you very much for hosting this.
Thank you very much.
It looks really nice for hosting this. It looks really nice.
Özetleyeceğim. Türk gözüyle Hindistan'dı. O sergiden sonra ellerinde Gandhi'nin sevgisi olduğunu söylediler ve biz de burada sergileme için talepte bulunduk. Sağ olsunlar, kırmızılar buraya gönderdiler. Bu fotoğrafların aslında orijinali kayıp sanırım. Sonradan negatifleri kayıp, sonradan fotoğraflardan elde edilmiş. Zaten görürsünüz, çok kaliteli fotoğraflar değil. Ayrıca sıra dışı bir fotoğrafçı, Troy aslında çok şey söyledi ama detaylı bilgi burada var. O in Turkish and English. Gerçekten ben de tanımıyordum. Bu vesileyle yakından hayatını tanıma şansım oldu. Özellikle Türkiye'deki gibi kızlara, büyüklerine ve parasının da arkadaşlarının kızlarına bırakan bir fotoğrafçı. He had some money for his friends. That's what it is. Kaçırmış var mı?
Bu fotoğraflar aslında daha önceden paylaşılmış fotoğraflar değil. Fotoğrafçının çantasından daha sonra bulunuyor bu fotoğraflar ve kendi ölümünden çok sonra çıkıyor bu fotoğraflar. O yüzden fotoğrafları tekrar çoğaltma yöntemiyle şu anda sergileniyor bunlar. Hüseyin Bey'in de çevirdiği gibi orijinalleri fotoğrafların maalesef yok ve ölümünden çok sonra bu fotoğraflar gün yüzüne çıkıyor. Malatya'ya gitmiş kendisi. Malatya'da fotoğraf müzesini gezmiş, çok beğenmiş. Aynı zamanda Delhi'de de bir fotoğraf müzesi varmış. Hindistan'a yolunuz düşerse Delhi'deki fotoğraf müzesine de uğramanızı önerdi kendisi. Aynı zamanda bir fotoğrafçılar buluşması vardı sanırım, oraya da davet etti. Evet.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, sir, you'll have to explain, and you please translate it because.
He had some money for his friends. That's what it is. Kaçırdığım şey var mı?
Bu fotoğraflar aslında fotoğrafçının çantasından daha sonra bulunuyor bu fotoğraflar ve kendi ölümünden çok sonra çıkıyor bu fotoğraflar. O yüzden fotoğrafları tekrar çoğaltma yöntemiyle şu anda sergileniyor bunlar. Çatlaklar tamamen fotoğraflar üst üste geldiği için fotoğrafların orijinal çatlağı. O yüzden kendisi bu sergideki en beğendiği fotoğraf buymuş çünkü o çatlakların söylüyor. Gandhi bir tanrı değil ama bu fotoğrafta dikkatinizi çekecek olan şey burada bir ışık yüzmesi var ve fark ettiyseniz o ışık yüzmesi Gandhi'nin üstüne doğru geliyor. O yüzden ruhani olarak da bir anlam taşıdığı için özel bir tanesinin fotoğrafını görüyoruz. Gandhi ülkenin birçok yerine seyahat etti, oradaki birlikteliği sağlayabilmek adına. Ve bu seyahatlerini hep demir yoluyla gerçekleştirdi. Trenle gerçekleştirdi. Hindistan'da 1., 2. ve 3. sınıf olmak üzere 3 sınıf var. En ucuz bilet 3. sınıfa ait. Burada da gördüğünüz gibi 3.